All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And our good friend Giorgio Rivetti usually stops in around this time of year. You know, he's got his own import company. His office is right here in this building. We've been good friends for a long time, ever since I've owned the store. You know, I love Italian wines. When I bought the store, there was only 4 Italian wines in the store. Today we've got 100 selections just from Barolo in the Piedmont, and one of my favorite grapes is Nebbiolo. But I also love Barbera, which is something that they do at the very top level of quality at La Spinetta, and one of the things I love about this winery is they don't make Dolcetto, so we don't have to buy Giorgio's Dolcetto just to support him to say, hey, we carry everything that you make. And we have a lot of respect for people that don't make Dolcetto in the Piedmont. Anyways, he does have a winery in Tuscany as well, Il Nero di Casanova, which these guys started just over a decade ago. And the Casanova Sangiovese, one of the best values you'll find in the $20 price range, coming from Tuscany. This wine used to have a little Colorino in it, but it's 100% Sangiovese today, 80% from Casanova. The Turicola, I don't know how you say that anyways. Young vines, 20% from Cesana, the 2 different vineyard sites that he has. And these are young vines, calcareous soils. You get some ocean sediment in there. You get a really bright style of Sangiovese here. Flowers, mint, a little red berry fruit, wild strawberry, some earth tones, but very pretty. This wine, a really easy drinking wine, but a lot of that nuance from the nose on the finish. Toffee, light smoke. Really nice little wine in that $20 price range. Very good juice. The Cadapian Barbera, the entry-level Barbera here. The Alba from them, the blue label. And all the wines from the Piedmont, almost all of them have the Rhino on there, one of the signature label of La Spinetta. This wine has got a lovely exotic spice, Indian tea, fresh floral aromas, blackberry fruit, very forward and seductive. This 2009 vintage, outstanding for the Barbera varietal from Castagnol and Castiglione, South Exposure Vineyards. And from the younger vines, he also makes a couple of single vineyards that comes from the older vines. This is a really good vintage for Barbera. Like I mentioned, a lot of ripe fruit, but lovely balance in these wines. Those exotic floral notes and exotic spice lasting through the finish. Excellent bottle of Barbera. And this wine you can keep for 10 years even. I've had the '02 vintage recently, which was not even a good vintage. This wine's still drinking excellent. All right, the 2010 Langhe Nebbiolo. This is young vines from the Star Dairy Vineyard, Nieve, and 16 to 20 years old, so not so young, actually. But this wine's got a lovely bouquet here. Rose petals, dry floral aromas, a potpourri of flowers, oriental spice, tart red cherry fruit. Really pretty bouquet. These wines are all about the terroir. And they do use some new oak at La Spinetta, but not a lot. I mean, these wines still have a lot of distinction, and they really don't get covered up with oak spice. This wine has a lovely freshness to it, too, like this 2010 vintage. Really classic year for the Piedmont, and showing that nuance from the nose through the finish. An excellent bottle of Langhe Nebbiolo, one of the best vintages I've had from La Spinetta. Then up next, the Barbaresco Bordini. This is a friend of his. It's a single vineyard wine located in Nieve, and the wines are in calcareous soil, 25 to 28 years old. And they do use a little bit of new French oak in this. You get a little bit of that spice from there, but you got a classic bouquet of flowers, a little bit of tar, some truffle, earth-like aromas. Wonderful structure in this 2009 here. An array of those flavors coming through on the finish. Lovely fruit here. And, of course, tannins. You know, Nebbiolo is all about structure and tannins. Barbaresco being a little more forward. This one has a lovely spice and truffle, earthy nuance. Most excellent juice, this 2009 Barbaresco Bordini. And then the Campe, the big dog, the first vintage of this wine, 2000, scored 98 points on the Wine Spectator, and the rest is history. This is a new winery that the Spinettas have built in Grinzan Cavour, and outstanding, always one of the top Barolos. The vines are 50 to 55 years old. You get this kind of menthol, minty note to this wine, a lovely red cherry fruit, exotic spices, tar, truffles. In this 2008 vintage, a really classic year. This wine needs a little bit of time, but still elegant, still lovely freshness here, but a lot of tannins, very young, and even though this bottle was open for a day and a half, still need a little more time. Most excellent juice, as usual. Everything we have in the store from La Spinetta, highly recommended. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.